Hello, today we are going to talk about radicals, or what you may have heard as square roots. Okay, so the first thing that you want to take a look at is something called perfect squares. So if I tell you that the number 121 is a perfect square, the square root of 121 is 11. So that's what it means to be a perfect square. It means that when you take the square root of something, the square root is a whole number. All of the numbers on this page are perfect squares. It will help you a lot and make your life a lot easier if you memorize the perfect squares 1 through 13. What is the difference between the three examples that are on this page? Do they all have the same answer? Well, anytime you square something or raise it to a power of 2, it means you're multiplying something by itself. Okay, so here what I really have is 9 times 9, which is 81. Okay. Now here, I'm not saying that I have negative 9 times negative 9. What I'm saying is I have the opposite of 9 times 9, which is negative 81. Here, I am saying that I have negative 9 times negative 9, which is positive 81. So all three of these look different and don't necessarily have the same answer, but they all look kind of similar also. It's all about where your parentheses are. If you were to put these each in the calculator, this would give you a positive 81, negative 81, positive 81. What are the square roots of 100, and what is the square root of 100? So the squares of 100 are anything that I can multiply by itself to get 100. So if I multiply 10 times 10, I get 100. And if I multiply negative 10 times negative 10, I get 100. So the square roots of 100 are negative 10 or 10. Now, when I'm talking about the square root with this symbol around it, I can only have positive numbers as my outcome. I don't account for the negative number anymore. So for this one, 10 is the only answer. Okay? It's two different questions, two different answers. They're not asking the same thing. What are the square roots of 100 and what is the square root of 100 are not the same question. Okay? Find all square roots of 64. That's anything that I can multiply by itself to get 64. So it would be negative 8 and 8. Simplify radical 49 or square root of 49. These can only be positive answers, so the answer is positive 7. This symbol that you know as a radical or as a square root is also called something called a radical. Okay? Negative numbers are not allowed inside there. Okay? If you are asked to find the square root or to simplify something of a negative number, your answer is no solution or no real number. Because there actually are imaginary numbers for that, but we don't get into that in this course. So there's no real solution for that. Okay. We can simplify square roots in a fraction by taking the top and the bottom separately. So I can find the square root of this division problem separately, and it would be 12 over 11. But since it asked for all square roots, and they didn't give the symbol to us, it could also be negative 12 over 11. Simplify square root of negative 16. I can't have negative numbers under the square root, so this is no real solution, no real number. The Pythagorean theorem. If you remember when you had right triangles, we said that there was a relationship between the sides and the hypotenuse. We called the sides A and B, and we called the hypotenuse C. And A squared plus B squared, or taking the sides and squaring them and adding them together, was equal to the hypotenuse squared. So let's see how we can use this in a problem. Okay, so here, if I labeled this A, B, and C, and I know the right angles here, so this is the hypotenuse, and I say A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, well, I don't know A. I know B is 24, and I know C is 26. So now we're going to simplify that. 24 squared. So I get A squared plus 576 equals 26 squared, which is 676. And now I'm going to subtract 576 from both sides. And I get that A squared is equal to 100. A is equal to 10. Now, does it make sense here to try and say that the square root of 100 is negative 10 if we're talking about the side of a triangle? No. So the missing side here is 10.